Hey guys, welcome back. This video is going to be about releasing. What do you need to release? Anger, resentment, hurt feelings, pain from heartbreak, jealousy, envious, hating, obsessions, aggressive tendencies, territorialism, obsessions, addictions, possessiveness, controlling, stress, negativity, whatever it may be. They need to be dealt with because when they are kept inside, they become kind of like a volcano. You know how the lava starts to boil and it rises, and it keeps rising and it keeps rising and it keeps rising. It keeps rising until, boom, it explodes. And you take it out on the people around you who don't deserve it. It's also not good for your health because of the stress. Stress can kill you if it's left untreated. So you need to release these things and whatever else you have inside of you that is toxic. Because if you don't, it's going to cause, like I said, health problems, and it's going to cause other problems to relationships in your life. When I was young, I started suppressing feelings from things that I had to go through in life. And I just kept pushing them down, pushing them down, pushing them down. Well, about 60-some years later, they started boiling up to the surface, and I was spewing venom at everybody. You could tell, every time somebody say something to me, I would lash out because I was so hurt and I was filled with all these kind of feelings, and I didn't know what to do with them. I didn't know how to get them out. And then I found out about being on this journey, and I was taught how to release these things. Whether you punch a punching bag, punch a pillow, scream, cry, whatever you have to do to get it out. Like I said, these emotions, and there's more than just what I've listed. That was just a few that I listed. There's more than that. But these feelings will slowly bubble up to the surface, and then they will explode like a volcano. And you don't want that to happen. Like I said, I suppressed feelings all my life, so I had a whole life's worth of feelings to release. And let's just say it's not been easy, and I still have a few more to tackle. None of us are perfect. Even though some pretend to be, we're not perfect. We all have faults in one way or another. Nobody's expected to be perfect. That's impossible. The only one that's perfect is God. That's it. He's the only one that's perfect. We all fall short from the glory of God because we're not perfect. So it's best that you deal with these issues and heal them and release them. That way, it will make you feel lighter, for one. Two, you won't explode on people around you. Three, it won't create tons of stress, which can cause health problems and also kill you. I mean, you can have a heart attack from stress. We should never keep any of these emotions inside because they're like poison that's eating away at our body and our mind and our thoughts and our actions. So it's best to get it out, release it, purge it, and then move on from it. Don't let all your feelings pile up and then get rid of them. Deal with them head on whenever they happen. Say, like, somebody makes you mad and you're angry. Purge it out that day. If somebody hurts your feelings, purge it out that day. If somebody, if you're controlling to somebody, purge it out that day. If you're possessive, purge it out that day. If you have addictions, you need to purge that out and heal it. Now, with addictions, as far as like drugs alcohol, sex, porn, gambling, eating, whatever it may be. You need to go get counseling, you need to get therapy, and you need to go to rehab. That's the best way to heal that. And then you need to go to like AA group or whatever it is, whatever your addiction is. You can't control anybody. That goes against the person's free will, and God's not going to have it, and that person is not going to have it. And you will be punished for it. You cannot control somebody and tell somebody how to live, what to wear, who to be with, who to hang around with, who to talk to. You can't do that. That's stifling, and that kills a relationship. You can't do that. And people don't put up with being controlled. I will not ever allow anyone to control me, ever. I never have, and I never will. And those that try to control me, bye-bye. Obsessions need to be dealt with. Now, obsessions can be like stalking, harassing, all kinds of things. You could be obsessed to a person, like you have such an obsession that you're constantly stalking and harassing them because you don't know what they're doing, and you're worried about what they're doing, who they're with, what they're doing, and all that kind of stuff. These are all pretty much forms of mental illness. I know people don't realize that, but they are. I wouldn't say that they're major unless you're obsessive about it. But every one of these pretty much is a form of mental illness, because that's not the way you're meant to be. They're best to be dealt with head on and release them. That way you don't have any problem with that any longer. Of course, you're going to continue to be hurt probably throughout your life, so you have to deal with that on a pretty much a regular basis. You're probably going to be heartbroken too, so that one you're going to have to deal with on a regular basis. I'm sure people are going to make you angry, and you're going to hold resentment in your heart towards them for what they've done. I am guilty of a few of these things, but I am working on that. I am a work in progress. Nobody's perfect. Now, addictions can be anything from sex, drugs, alcohol, gambling, porn, food, whatever people can be addicted to, pretty much. And they need to be dealt with before they get out of hand, because addictions and obsessions can ruin your life totally. And if you try to control people, that's going to really destroy relationships. And if you're aggressive, nobody's going to want to be with you if you're aggressive. You don't put your hands on women. And if you're constantly fighting with people around you, nobody's going to want that in their life. If you're territorial, if it's out of hand, it's going to destroy your relationship. Now, I always say a tiny bit of possessiveness, a tiny bit of jealousy is okay. A tiny, tiny bit. Like a smidge. But anything more than that, a little bit territorial, it's okay. But the rest of it, no, it's not okay. As long as those three things don't get out of hand, the jealousy, the possessiveness, and the territorial. As long as they don't get out of hand and start to cause problems in the relationship. It's up to the person to decide how they feel about that subject. It depends on the person. Everybody's different. I never minded a tiny bit of jealousy and a tiny bit of possessiveness and a tiny bit of territorialism. I didn't really have a problem with that because it didn't get out of control in the relationships that had that. And I put an end to that real quick if it started to. But you need to release all these things because they will destroy your life. In some form or fashion, they will destroy your life. And it's best to deal with your toxic issues and get them out, because the more you heal yourself, the better you're going to feel. The lighter you're going to feel. The more happier you're going to be. So these need to be dealt with head on as soon as they happen, like the same day. If not the following day, but no later than that. If you have a lot of this building up inside of you, then you need to deal with it, purge it out, and get it out. You don't want to have these things inside of you that cause problems in relationships. You don't want to have these things that bring hell into your life. You don't want a person who is controlling or super possessive or super territorial or super jealous, you know. That's a relationship killer right there, those three things. And there's more on that list that are. Plus, it's going to cause a lot of stress, which is going to cause a lot of stress, which is going to cause a lot of problems in the relationship, and you don't want that. So you have to heal all these things and purge them out and get rid of them so that they don't cause the problems in your life. All right, there's not a whole lot more I can say on this issue. I mean, it's pretty simple. But all these issues, all these toxic issues need to be healed and dealt with and purged out. Believe me, you're going to feel a lot better when you do. Your life is going to be better. Your relationships will probably be better. As long as you don't go back and revisit any of these things, plus the ones that I didn't speak about. So make sure you release all your toxic issues, because if you don't, you're never going to have a successful relationship. You will never have a successful relationship. A lot of these things here on this list are relationship killers, because they're done in an extreme instead of slightly. And even if they're slightly, like anger and resentment, those should be still dealt with. You shouldn't hate anybody for anything. We are supposed to love our enemies and love our neighbors, no matter what they do to us. It tells you that in the Bible. You should never try to control anybody, because that messes with their free will, and that will cause you boatloads of karma. How would you like it if somebody tried to control your every move, everything you did, people you talk to, the people you see and hang out with, and all that kind of stuff, people you work with? And you can't. That's a smothering. That's a smothering to the relationship. You can't do that. So all these things need to be dealt with. They need to be purged. They need to be released, and you need to move on. Trust me, you will feel a lot better once you do. Now, some of these things you will probably go through again and again and again in your life, so you're going to have to keep releasing them. But if you release these things as when they happen and don't let them build up, then it won't be as hard. I let them build up my whole life, and then I had a whole lifetime of them to deal with and to purge, and that was tough. And like I said, I still got a little bit more to go. So it's best to deal with it as soon as it happens, and just do it, purge it out, get rid of it, move on. If it happens again, purge it out, get rid of it, move on, and keep doing that. Don't let it get out of control. I have to end this here now, so please like, share, subscribe, comment below, thumbs up, send your friends to the channel. And I hope to see you again soon. Thank you. Bye.